This program is underwritten in part by Arkansas Adult Education, a division of the Arkansas Department of Career Education.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Arkansans Ask. I'm Lance Turner. We often discuss the importance of education, especially as it relates to children, but this is a program that's a little different. The Adult Education Division of the Department of Career Education is celebrating 50 years of adult education in Arkansas, and that makes it a good time to discuss what the division does, its operations around the state, and how it's working to get Arkansans educated and ultimately into the workforce. Tonight, we're joined by some of the department's top leaders, and with the help of our volunteers here in the studio, these experts and decision makers will be taking your questions about adult education, its services, and its operations. This program is for you and driven by your questions, which you can submit by phone at 1-800-662-2386, by email at paffairs@aetn.org, and through Twitter using the hashtag ARAsk. And joining me tonight to get the conversation rolling is Dr. Sharice Childers, the Director of the Department of Career Education, which of course includes the Adult Education Division. Dr. Childers, thanks for coming in tonight. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having us here.
You bet. And let's just start kind of generally. You of course are head of the Department of Career Education. You were appointed by Governor Asa Hutchinson in 2015. You oversee the operations that include adult education. So tell us a little bit about what adult education is and how it relates to other parts of the Career Education Department.
Well, adult education is more than what most people imagine it to be or think of it as being. It plays a vital role in our state's economy. First of all, just the question that you asked about how does it fit in with the Department of Career Education. I think the best way to describe that is that within the Department of Career Education, we focus on K through 12 education in conjunction with the Department of Ed, but we focus on career and technical education. But then moving on with those, on in the spectrum of students, we also look at students that have not completed high school and are interested in earning their high school equivalency, and or those adults that for some reason in life they weren't able to complete their high school diploma and want to return back for adult education training. And
big picture, that really is a help to the economy in terms of trying to get those adults back on track and get them into the workforce.
Absolutely. Anything that we can do to make sure that students and our citizens of Arkansas have increased education and training, that's going to lead to higher wages. So we're focusing on adult basic education, adult literacy, as well as their high school equivalency exam.
You've got 18%, about 400,000 Arkansans between the ages of 18 and 64 who don't have a high school diploma. That's a broad range of people. How are you set up to, meet all those individual needs within such a broad range of folks?
Well, if we could move the needle by reaching even 50% of those students, that would have a huge impact on our economy. Right now, we serve close to 36,000 students or individuals in Arkansas. So you can see that there's a huge need, and we're only able to serve a small percentage of those individuals currently.
I would expect one of your challenges is just getting the word out simply about the programs that you offer. How are you going about just spreading the word about what advantages are available to folks at adult education?
Well, through shows and opportunities like we have here today, we can tell more people about it. Hopefully the word will spread. We are really excited about celebrating the 50 years of adult education in Arkansas. And so through the events that are scheduled around that, as you may have seen in others, we've done quite a bit of outreach lately, getting our name out there and just letting people know what we're offering. But within adult education, like I said earlier, there are numerous programs that are focused not just on completing your high school diploma and earning your high school equivalency, but also other programs that help adults gain better skills and improve their opportunities for higher wages.
And we're going to talk about all those programs tonight. We're also going to talk about the 51 adult education centers that are around the state. Let's take a look at some of the programs and people that are available at the Conway Adult Education Center.
Because I started off as a student here, and now I work for adult ed.
They've given me more confidence, and they've also given me enthusiasm that I can do anything that, you know, if I try and put forth the effort, I'll be able to succeed.
Number one, the program is free. We don't have to pay nothing. I think it's very important to speak English, and Conway Adult Education offered good opportunity to come to learn English and to speak English, because some person, Hispanic people especially, don't speak English.
In the past, maybe they thought it was just, quote, the GED program, and that's just really a minute part of it now, when we're so focused on accountability and also job readiness, post-secondary training. It's a whole gamut now.
I was able to pass my tests, and so I obtained my GED. They also offer wage programs, so for people who need help with resumes, or people who need computer literacy, or just you know, help with working with certain programs like Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. They offer that here. It's all free.
Age is not a difference. A lot of people are, oh, I'm just old, I don't have the experience. Everything's free here. You get the experience you need. We work with you one-on-one. It's for everybody.
I wrote down May 24th, and it's here.
Okay, that sounds good.
It's so special because you'll see tears coming down their eyes, that mom or dad or grandma will come by and run out there and take their pictures, and you know, they've not ever had that experience of someone being so proud of them. And of course the teachers and the staff and everybody's cheering them on. It makes me have chills right now.
I was homeschooled, and I did some research on it, and come to find out there aren't as many colleges that accept homeschooling as a legitimate high school education that do a general education diploma. And I kind of decided, you know, might as well as like a fail-safe, and it was a pretty good decision, I think. Just getting your GED doesn't mean you're stupid. The test is actually really hard, and a lot of people wouldn't know that. They just think that all stereotypes say if you have your GED, you're stupid, but that's not the case.
You walk the same stage that these students are getting ready to walk, and then it clicks that, hey, you was in that child's shoe before. And the same struggles that they may have had with family or school, you know, they succeeded in spite of.
I think the governor is pushing some wonderful things for the state as far as whether it be skills. It's amazing how much money the apprenticeship programs, if I am a plumber or a carpenter, I've still got to have the basic skills. So adult ed is still there.
And joining us now to continue the discussion about these centers and how to find help are Lloyd Husky, the director of the Arkansas Baptist College Adult Education Center, Dr. Trina Miles, the deputy director of the Arkansas Department of Career Education and the leader of the Adult Education Division, and Linda Kendi, the director of the Little Rock School District Adult Education Center. Thanks to each of you for coming in this evening. And Dr. Miles, I'm going to start with you. We are here to celebrate, in part, 50 years of adult education in Arkansas, and you guys have a lot of celebrations coming up over the next few days.
Yes, on Tuesday, September 20th, we have a cap toss in which we're going to commemorate the graduates who have graduated with their high school equivalency diploma, as well as to celebrate the accomplishments of the teachers. On Wednesday, September 21st, we have an anniversary luncheon at the Governor's Mansion that will also commemorate the 50th years and anniversary in adult education. And we'd like to thank our sponsors. We have the GD Testing Services, Technomedia, Aztec, the Van Buren Adult Education Program, as well as the Arkansas Association for Continuing and Adult Education, who have helped to sponsor this event. So we really appreciate their support.
You're going to hear a lot of great stories over the next few days of people who've been helped by these programs, and we saw some in the clip. Take me back to just sort of the beginning of a person's journey in adult education. When they come into a center, what generally are they going to find, and how is that process going to begin to work for them?
Usually what happens when a student first comes into adult education, the first thing we do, of course, is welcome them and try to encourage and support them, because it takes a lot of courage to come into an adult ed program, especially if you've been out of program or been out of school for a number of years, and to come back after 15 or 20, it can be very nerve-wracking. So one of the things that we like to do is try and calm the student and support the student and let them know that they made the right decision. The next thing we try and do is give them the test of adult basic education, and it's an assessment that pretty much lets us know where they're functioning. We don't waste students' time by teaching them things that they already know. So the TABE test, it tells us exactly what it is what they need to know. It's a diagnostic test, and from there we enroll them in a classroom, give them orientation of the program, and we enroll them in the program.
And I would assume there's some counseling along the way that sort of guides them through all the other options that are available.
Yes, we have career development facilitators in all of the adult education programs and literacy councils, and we have teachers who are very supportive, as well as during orientation, someone is there to give them the options as far as the classes that are being offered, the times, and the different programs that the student can participate in.
Dr. Husky, you've been doing this for a while. You're a man of experience in this field and others, as we talked about before the show. What have been your experiences with all of these, the students you've encountered, the outcomes that you've seen? What are the types of situations that you've seen over the years in terms of helping people?
First of all, I need to do a little more work before I can have that doctor title.
Right.
Right.
You're on your way.
That's right. That's right. Well, I've seen a number of changes. We're getting younger students in now. Adult education originally was set up for folks 18 and older.
Right.
And but we are getting 16 and 17-year-olds coming in, and we've seen them all the way up to the 80s, in their 80s. And so we got a great range of students. They all mix in well, and just to encourage them as they're coming from all ages right now.
How then are you set up? We touched on this a little bit, but you've got this broad demographic now, and even younger students. How are you able to sort of individually be ready to meet a need? Ms. Kendi, perhaps, or yes.
Well, when our students come in, no matter what level they're functioning on, the teachers are trained and experienced at working with the students individually. They're in a class together, and they may do group work, they may do whole class group work, but they do a lot of individual work where the teacher's there to assist them, and they work on the skills that their level, if they're whatever their functioning level is. That's what they work on. Okay. So it can be a class of multi-level students working at one time very successfully.
We do have a first question from a caller from Pulaski County who wants to know, do you help people with resume writing?
Yes, we do. We have our career development facilitators who are there to assist with resume writing, and also a lot of our teachers are equipped to help with that.
I did want to talk about that very particular thing. You've got students on one side of the equation, but also the instructors. Where are your instructors coming from, and what are the range of skills and abilities that they have?
Well, our instructors are certified teachers. A lot of our teachers have degrees in adult education, and they're hired full-time. We also have a lot of part-time teachers in adult ed who have experience from being secondary or elementary teachers. They're a wide range of ages. We have the younger ones just out of college, all the way up to retired. A lot of our part-time teachers are retired or full-time teachers working for my program. A lot of my teachers in the evening are full-time teachers in the Watts School District who also work in the evening as part-time teachers in our program.
So it sounds like you've got people who just love to teach.
Yes,
at all hours of the day.
And they have more energy than I have.
Right. We're going to talk about all kinds of aspects of adult education. GED is one of them, and Dr. Miles, I know you're proud. Arkansas apparently has the #1 pass rate in the GED program in the country right now. What are we doing right?
Well, one of the things that we're doing right is that we require practice tests before a person can take the GED test. It's what it gives us an idea whether or not a student can pass the test. And I will have to say that some of the reason of our success rate has to do with our great teachers in adult education across the state. As Linda pointed out, they're trained. They continue to be offered professional development. They provide one-on-one assistance to students, and they meet students where they are. So students are able to pass the test. And I will say that the other credit goes to the students themselves, because many of them are motivated. This is their second chance to get it right, and so they have families that they have to take care of. They're trying to go to school, they're trying to get a job, and so I have to give credit to the students as well. About
how long does a GED program take? I know it's probably tailored for every student, so it can vary in terms of length of the program. Is there an average time or no?
Right, it's all based on the individual.
Right,
you know,
okay.
We get students in and we test them, the assessment, and then basically tell us what grade level they're working on. And it's just based on the individual.
Yeah, so if a student comes in maybe at the 11th or 12th grade level, they usually can probably finish within a year if they put in the time for it, because it's self-directed, and so it all depends on how much time and effort that they put into their lesson and actually doing the work. So it varies. We've had programs, or some students at some programs could take as long as 5 years, just depending on when they come in. Because again, this is, you think about today, some people are trying to make up 12 years of an education in a couple of months, and that usually has not been the case for many.
There's another program that you offer called Workforce Alliance for Growth in the Economy, or WAGE as most people know it. How does that relate with GED, and what other kind of skills can you get out of that? So
the WAGE program, we stands for Workforce Alliance for Growth in the Economy. Like you said, it's a job readiness program for unemployed and underemployed adults, and basically we try and help students gain soft skills that employers are looking for today, such as problem-solving skills, critical thinking, teamwork, those soft skills that employers are looking for in today's workforce. And one of the ways that it works closely with the GED program is that when students come in, they also have to be tape tested. And many of them come in and they don't have their high school diploma. So while they're working on these work certificates, in which they can get up to 6 certificates in bank teller, customer service 1 or 2, employability, industrial, and office technology. So they can get these stackable credentials along with their GED when they leave another ed program.
Right. We've got a lot more to talk about. There's other programs that are involved in adult education. But another one of those programs that we can talk about now is the Arkansas Correctional School District, which offers a second chance at education to prison inmates around the state. Let's take a look now at that program.
Our goal is to get everyone a GED. School is mandatory when you come into the prison. You're offered a chance to verify a high school diploma or a GED. If you can't do that, you have to go to school. You don't have to stay until you get your GED, but as long as you're incarcerated, you have to go to school. We have a school of some size in every prison facility in the state and every community corrections facility in the state. About 70 teachers, 12 principals, and some central office staff. We have our graduation every May, and we offer the opportunity for inmates from around the state to come. They can invite 2 people who are on their guest list. There's a little reception afterward. This year we had 460 graduates.
It really is important, graduates, that you decide you are going to stay out after some of us put it on the line to make sure you get more chances, and that's important.
Studies nationwide and some we've done internally say that if you get your GED, you're much less likely to come back to prison on release.
When they come to us, they're at a jumping off point in their lives. They know that they want to change, but they don't know how to change, and they don't know how to get the change process started. So we take them by the hand and we lead them to where they need to go and lead them through, whether it's testing or earning a diploma or just brushing up on skills or earning a wage certificate. Logan is just a fantastic person, and he found himself in a very bad situation in the Garland County Detention Center, sentenced to 1 year in jail. And when our programs opened up, he knew he wanted to take that step, come to see us, earn his diploma, and improve his future. And he was the first student that earned his diploma in the detention center. He attended college classes all this spring semester, made great grades, enrolled again to come back in the fall, and he applied for and received a $3,000 Oaklawn Foundation scholarship.
Sometimes it may get dark, but you can always pull through. I'm 26 years old myself, you know, and a lot of people my age wouldn't want to come here. They would be embarrassed, like you said, but just don't be. You know, it's really worth the effort coming back and just bettering yourself, you know, because it's a whole new world once you get through here.
Adult education is the stepping stone for people who are in some of the worst situations that you could imagine. There are so many adults in this state that do not have a high school diploma, and we still have kids leaving school early without high school diplomas. We're going to serve a valuable role in meeting the governor's goal for an educated workforce.
Dr. Miles, I'm told that you have, in the past 10 years, have logged a 70% pass rate for GED in the correctional program. Obviously, that program, it presents some challenges that are a little outside of what you might usually face with the rest of the adult education program. What's the secret sauce for you there? How is that program, what makes that program work?
Again, I would have to go back to say that our teachers do a really good job teaching the students, just like if they were out in the community. I would also have to say that we require the official practices, like I said earlier. Now, we serve about 4,000 students in correctional facilities, halfway houses, community corrections, and Linda probably can speak a little bit, or one of the directors can speak a little bit more regarding some of those relationships with the correctional, but it's pretty much the same thing. We get those students, they stay like an average of 20 hours a week, so they're putting in the time to be able to make those advancements in education.
Mm-hmm. Linda, you've had experience with all aspects of the program, but have you found some successes there as well?
Oh, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
We have been partnered with the Little Rock Community Correctional Unit since they opened their doors in, I think it was like 92. And actually, I was there administering the tape and the official GED test while they were still remodeling the building and getting it ready. The students that we have there, since it is a community correctional program, they serve about 180 days there. They stay there, and then they are released. They go back to their hometowns or wherever they choose to go. And they know that when they leave, they're going to have a second chance. Right. That really motivates them, number one, to get their education. Secondly, the teachers work really well with them. They know their needs. This is a population that they know how to work with.
Right.
they are also they don't have a lot of choices of what they can do in a day. So they're going to be in class every day. But these students are the most motivated students I've ever seen. I have been over there on Fridays, which is not technically their study day, and they'll be coming in wanting to know, can they study? Can they get a book? Can they brush up on this, brush up on that? They're very motivated, and a lot of them go on and pass the GED test, finish. They already have their paperwork and everything filled out so that when they are released, they can go right into a post-secondary ed program.
Right.
And they have jobs lined up, very successful.
Great. Well, we are continuing to take your questions on the topic of adult education tonight. Our phone number is 1-800-662-2386. You can also email us at paffairs@aetn.org, and you can also send us a tweet at AETN. The hashtag is ARAsk. And we've got a couple questions here. Lloyd, we've got a question for you, wondering about whether the centers offer computer coding and what kind of, that of course is an initiative that the governor has talked about in various parts of education in the state of Arkansas. What forms has that taken in adult education?
Well, right now we're working on just basic computer literacy at this time, but we are looking into adding coding to the selections. Right. It's just basic computer literacy at this point, but you know, and work with Dr. Miles and Dr. Childress, you know, we'll have it in pretty soon.
Dr. Miles, we got a question here from Washington County about the relationship between business and adult education. Will adult ed go into a business and teach classes and skills, and how does that play out typically?
Oh yes, most definitely. We have a couple of programs across the state who have gone into Tyson and provided workplace classes to employees who do not have a high school diploma, or those who have a high school diploma but they need to increase their academic skills because the company has ordered some new sophisticated technology that need higher learners to operate. And so we work very closely with business across the state, and I didn't mention this earlier, but all of our services are free.
That's right. Yeah, we probably should point that out, that you're getting a lot for nothing, in fact, and that's an education, as we know, in other parts of education can be very expensive in higher education, but this is giving you a chance to catch up for not $1 down, so that's fantastic.
Just for time, it's all it requires.
That's right. Other ways that businesses are involved, I know there's, you know, workplace education. They're teaching specific skills in terms of everything from welding, very nuts and bolts types of skills for workers that you might not expect.
Yes, with one of the things that we're doing, we have a program called Accelerating Opportunity, which is an integrated education and training program in which a student can earn their high school diploma as well as a technical certificate. So we're working closely with local community colleges to meet the needs of business and industry and help students get degrees or certificates or certifications or apprenticeships that business and industry need so that they can go to work.
One of the themes that we keep hearing, I think, in terms of our economy is that there tends to be a skills mismatch. Some of these typical factory jobs are not the factory jobs of yesterday. They are highly technical jobs, and I would expect that there are employers who need to get employees caught up.
Yes. So one of the things programs do before they decide to select an area to go in, they look at the labor market information, the projections, and then sort of make a decision on that, what's the need, because it's different across the state of Arkansas. Arkansas is a very diverse state, and so what works in Northwest Arkansas may not work in Southeast Arkansas. So many times we are charged to look at the labor market information, see which jobs are going to be in demand, and then try and help students gain those skill sets so that they can go into the workforce.
Right. Well, many people are familiar with Steve Landers and his entrepreneurial skills, but they might not know the story behind his journey and the role that education has played in it. Let's take a look at that journey now.
Born and raised here, grew up in Benton, and I would sell couriers, and I would buy them for 3 cents and sell them for a nickel. And sometimes people would give me a dime, you know what I mean? Because I was a young kid and I was standing out on the corner yelling, "Courier," you know. school was something I just never liked. If I could have quit when I was in the 7th, 8th grade, I would have. Got a blank diploma the night we graduated. And my English teacher that I failed in, as I was walking in front of her, she said, "You'll never amount to anything." She said, "You'll never amount to anything." And so when I took that, not in a bad way, but in a good way, that made me bust my butt to show her and prove to her that she was wrong. After I got out of high school with that blank diploma, I had to do something to get a high school diploma, so I went to summer school at McClellan, and there was a little 4'10", short African-American lady that was as round as she was tall. I got in summer school, started horsing around like I did all the way through school. And she slammed a book down on the desk, and she looked at me. I was a front row with her. And she looked at me, she pointed her finger at me. She said, "White boy, I don't care if you ever get out of school. I'm gonna teach it. If you want it, it's gonna be taught. If you don't want it, I don't care if you ever get out." And I made a B. First time I'd ever made a B in English. Probably the first B I'd ever made in high school. But I made a B in English in there and finally got my diploma. At the end of the summer school, I hugged her neck and thanked her, and I said, "I really appreciate." I was really thankful and humble that she had helped me. She had woke me up. That lady finally got my attention and started me on the right path of wanting to go get it. I had to learn to go get it. Both of my sons, I would tell them things like, success is not owned, it's rented, and the rent's due every day. So if you want to be successful, that rent's due every day. I've been around a lot of smarter people in my life, really sharp, but I've never been around anybody that will outwork me. Education is great. You've got, it's good, you need it. You need to get that, at least that high school diploma. And, but after that, you can pick a field to go into, study that field, understand it, work for somebody and learn it. Your heart's got to be in it. Your heart has to be in what you want to do. You have to love what you're doing. But you can do whatever you set your mind to. Hard work will get you there. It's never too late to try to chase your dreams and go after them hard. The main thing about everything I've said today, hard work will take care of a lot of it. Hard work and dedication to what you're doing and desire to want to be better. You can't wait on your ship to come in, which most people do. You got to swim out to it.
And we're back and talking about 50 years of adult education in Arkansas. And we're taking your calls and questions as well. Our phone number is 1-800-662-2386. Our email is paffairs@aetn.org. You can tweet us at AETN. Hashtag is ARAsk. And Steve's story is kind of interesting because I expect it's one that you probably hear shades of and a lot of different folks. For whatever reason, they didn't get that high school diploma, and now they're coming back. And it takes, Lloyd, a special drive and a special determination to get that done.
That's right. And, we tell students all the time, the hardest step is to finally get up out of bed one day and show up at one of our programs. Mm-hmm. That's the hardest part. That's one of the hardest part of this whole process, is to finally get up and come to us.
Right.
And we tell them all the time it takes effort to do that. Mm-hmm. And once we can get them in and talk with them, then we can show them a route and get in their GED.
Right. Mm-hmm. How, Dr. Childers, how are you set up then to encourage folks to take that step? That is a very difficult first step, to just get out of the car and walk into the office and make it happen. How is that message? How do you deliver that message to your folks to make that happen?
Well, as it's been repeated several times today, it all has to do with dedication from the employees that are within the Department of Career Ed and then most importantly, those that are out actually doing the work, serving the students, because it takes their constant dedication and passion to make a difference in all of the lives of those that we serve. And then talking about the students that have just as was said before, just to take that first step to get out of bed and go into an adult ed program. Anything that we can do to build their confidence, and along the way that will lead to success. Just making sure that they have the confidence and knowing that they're building their skill set so that they have more opportunities in front of them. So it's I can't say enough about the dedicated people who are out working with these individuals every day. We have very limited resources, but we're serving the citizens of Arkansas, and this is a very important segment of our population.
We do have another question from Faulkner County, Dr. Childers, and this person wants to know whether you have to be a U.S. citizen to receive GED preparation services from adult education.
You must be an Arkansas resident in order to take the GED test, and I probably should direct that to Dr. Miles or one of the adult ed instructors to clarify as far as what the opportunities are available for others outside of the state of Arkansas.
Dr. Miles?
Yes, we work with individuals who are immigrants. That's one of the purposes of the Adult Education Family Literacy Act, sponsored by Congress, is that we do support students who are trying to learn English as well as gain their citizenship status.
Okay. We have another question via Twitter, and they want to know whether is there a cost to take the actual GED test itself?
The cost to the student is $4 per section. There's 4 sections of the test in reading, language, arts, science, social studies, and math. Is $4 per section. The state supplements the rest of it. The test actually costs $120 that our division supplements, but for a student it costs for the total test $16, provided they pass all sections the first time.
Right. Getting back to keeping students motivated, Linda, there can be so many things going on in everyone's lives. You can be a single parent, you can have odd work hours, all of these things. What are some of the methods that you guys have employed to sort of help a person simply, stay on schedule and stay on track and keep coming?
Well, you are correct. Life happens.
Right.
And life happens a lot for our students. They'll get started and then their car breaks down, or they don't have a babysitter, or they have a relative who becomes very ill and they have to drop out, or, well, I don't want to use the word drop out, but stop coming for a while to take care of that. And just like us, if they get out of the habit of coming, then it's really hard to get started back. But our teachers are very, very good at calling them, contacting them, encourage them. And, the phone call, it does a lot of good. It really boosts their whole feeling about coming back to school, because they know that there's someone who really cares about them. If they know that they have someone who really cares about them and is encouraging and supportive, they will get back. In addition to that, though, if they just can't get to class for whatever reason, they can come by and get supplemental work so that they can continue their studies until they're able to return. We also have distance learning for those who just cannot get into class. So there are other opportunities. But the biggest motivator for keeping our students coming is that they know that they have caring teachers.
Right. Dr. Miles, we have a question from Pulaski County. This person wants to simply know a little bit more about the WAGE program. We touched on that a little earlier, but just, a little bit more about what that program is and what it offers, and sort of, I guess, the effects really too. What can a person gain career-wise out of those certifications?
Again, the WAGE program, they can gain job readiness skills for entry-level employment. A person can get up, there are 6 certificates, so we offer a bank teller, there's a customer service 1 and 2, there's an industrial employability skills certificate. It's that basic work ethics that employers are looking for. Again, it's critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and really what is expected in the workplace.
Right.
Showing up on time, meeting deadlines, getting along with your coworkers, and being able to follow directions. So those are skills that once you get in the door, you should be able to retain a job. Basically, once you have the wage certificate.
What makes up the industrial portion of that?
The industrial is a little bit more technical. It's mainly for individuals who are interested in manufacturing.
Okay.
And so that pretty much more of the technical part of it. It's a lot more technical.
Right. Well, English learning is another part of adult education in Arkansas. Let's take a look now at a couple of examples of how learning the English language through adult education is changing lives.
Lived in California for 22 years. I'm now married and live here in Hot Springs. After I was done with my kids' education, taking care of them, I realized that it was my time and decided to pursue my dream of becoming a teacher. Maybe I can go back and earn my GED. You know, I never had the time to do it, so I Googled adult education and found this place, and I decided to go. My main concern was the English language, because the English I know is from hearing it. I've never been in an actual classroom to learn it, so I didn't know if it was good enough. But then they tested me, and I went home and I told my husband, I think I can do this. And I got a job here now, and I love it. Students walk in the door and they're scared. And it's such a good feeling when I tell them, it's okay, you know what, I was there. I was scared, that's me, I see me in you. I said, you're gonna learn, just be patient and don't be afraid of saying it wrong, because that's the main thing. We are so afraid of saying it wrong. If you don't try, you'll never find out if you're gonna learn. I tell people, everybody I get to know, you come to the United States, the main thing you need to do is to learn the basic English. Time doesn't really matter. You can still achieve your dreams. What matters is to have a dream.
I'm very passionate about this particular program. I believe that since our country was settled, it had immigrants, and Arkansas was settled by immigrants. And I believe it is our responsibility as a country and as a state to offer classes to our immigrants that come into our city, into our state, and into our country. This past year, when I was sitting at the graduation in May, I was sitting there with my staff, and it was so neat to watch our English language learners walk across the stage with a technical diploma in their hand and be able to go down that career pathway that they have chosen, knowing that they're going to be able to provide for their family and to work in our community. Oh, Gabby. She is one of the highlights, and she was a student here in our center. She's been a student for about a year and a half. And when she came to our Adult Education Center, there were 3 things that she wanted. She wanted to obtain her citizenship, she wanted to be able to speak English better, and to get a better job.
I was trying to apply for a citizenship. I needed to learn or study for the citizenship process. So one day I was passing by and I saw the sign that says free classes. So I signed in for citizenship classes, and it worked out like I needed to also improve my English skills. So I signed for both classes. Once that you sign into the program, you must do like a little test, kind of tell them what level you have on your English skills. It will put you on the right class, and then, you know, the teacher will help you based on your needs. I think one of the great things just to know about the adult education helped me a lot to reach my goals. Of course, one of them, it was getting better in English. The other one was save money for the citizenship process. And my third goal, it was to attend the classes every day. And then the fourth one, it was get a better job in 2 years. The fifth one, it was to have my GED in citizenship in a year and a half. So I will encourage everybody who doesn't have, for example, the GED, to come and sign with us and let them help to go through that process as well and get it done. As well with the ESL classes, I think it's also important. It's another country, yes, but we have to be prepared. We have to learn and be able to do things on our own. So I think it's one of the important messages that we have to put out there to help them understand that.
We are talking adult education in Arkansas, and we're taking your questions. You can call us at 1-800-662-2386. You can email us at paffairs@aetn.org. You can tweet us at AETN, and the hashtag is ARAsk. We also have information that we'll be putting up during this segment about information on just where you can go to find out about these adult education centers that are around Arkansas. They're throughout the state and are fairly easy to find, and so we'll have information on that we'll be showing you as well. But I want to talk more about English language acquisition, Linda, and I understand you know something about that. And what are the nuts and bolts of that program? If I will come in and I need those kind of skills, how does that start, and typically how does that program work for me?
Our English language acquisition program is one of our largest populations of students that we serve in the Little Rock School District Adult Ed program, and they represent many different countries. We have many different languages spoken in our program. The majority of them are Latino, Hispanic, but we have Asian, we have European, we have Middle Eastern, and they're all studying together for the same purpose. When they come in, a lot of times they cannot speak English at all. Wow. Then we have those who are very proficient in English, but all of our students' goals are the same, and that is to improve their English language abilities through reading, writing, speaking, and conversation, listening skills as well. They know that to have a better life in our country, they have to be able to speak, read, write, and understand English, be able to communicate.
And what would your experience be like in a class like that? Are you going to be in a classroom with people who are all from a particular country and they all speak the same language and need to learn English, or are they all thrown in together?
They are all thrown in together. Now, we do have ours divided by levels, so we have our level 1, level 2, level 3. We try to group in that way, but even within those groups, they're on different levels, and they speak multiple languages. They all work together, and we have found that it works better if we can mix different languages together, because then it forces them to have to speak English. Right. They cannot revert back to their first language. And they do a lot of hands-on. It's a very active class. It takes a very energetic teacher for that class. Very creative, very energetic.
Well, and one thing I picked up from that segment was that there's also a sense of community that seems to form in those classes that I would expect sort of helps people continue to come and be encouraged by that. It seems. And so, let's take a question here. This is for Linda. This is from Eureka Springs. Do you allow retired people to get training so that they can get out and get jobs? I would assume that that's probably a yes. All ages are welcome.
Yes. There's no age limit on it. They must be 16 years of age. That's the minimum. There is no other age limit.
Right. And so do you find that you have a lot of seniors that come in?
We have some, yes. Not as many as we had in earlier years, but we do. And whatever their age, as long as they're 16 or older, we are there to serve them.
Right. We have another question from Van Buren. This is, do you offer typing skills in these classes?
In our basic computer literacy classes, they do learn keyboarding.
Okay. Getting back to English as a second language, that would seem to be something that would be fairly important to the economy. We do have an influx of Latinos coming to the state. Has that program been one that has attracted more interest and more development and more resources because you've had this influx of people? How has that changed over the years? Do you see more and more of those types of students now than perhaps you had in the past, Dr. Miles?
Yes, we serve about 20% of the population we serve are English language learners, and we are getting several requests from local businesses through the local adult education programs where they want teachers to come on site to provide English language acquisition classes for their employees. So we're beginning to see an influx of those requests, and the way it works at the workplace is a lot more convenient because students may not have transportation, so instead of them coming to us, we go to them and provide those resources.
Another element of adult education, family literacy programs, and I know we haven't really talked much about that. Can you fill us in on sort of what that entails and all the parts of that?
So, and I'll refer to Linda for specific examples, but one of the things with family literacy is that it works in conjunction usually with a local school and parents within that school. It's a program in which students and parents are able to learn English together, and as a result, the student become better students as well as the parents become better speakers and listeners and of English.
And family literacy councils, I understand, can play a piece of that program as well.
Yes, we have literacy councils. We have about 9 literacy councils across the state, and really the literacy councils, they tend to work with students who are functioning on the 5th grade level and below, and oftentimes they are feeders into the adult education program, so literacy councils tend to help us prep students who are on the lower functioning. A lot of times it's not a classroom base, it's one-on-one tutoring, so when a student gets up to par, when they're ready to take it to the next level, they're ready to make a smooth transition into adult education.
Okay. And we're going to put up that graphic now in terms of how you can find these adult education centers that are around Arkansas. If you need help, if you're looking to take part in any of these services, you can call this number that's on your screen, 1-877-963-4GED, and you can also go to the website aal.rc.org, and that will tell you all you need to know about where to find these programs and begin accessing these programs. Linda, I have a question here from Yell County, and this is something that we have not touched on at all and can use some exploration, is how do you help students with learning disabilities within your programs?
We have an ADA coordinators in our programs, and when students come in and self-report, they don't necessarily have to have accommodations, formal testing accommodations already. They can even self-report that they have a learning disability. Then they are scheduled with the coordinator, and the coordinator will do a preliminary interview with them and determine what would be the next step for that student as far as getting services and assistance for them. We provide accommodations for them in the classroom, in providing one-on-one instruction. They work at their own pace, they have extended time, they have smaller chunks of information that they cover each day before they move to the next skill. If they need assistive technology, we have that available. We have a wonderful resource center where we can contact and get help from them, services from them. We have the Arkansas Rehab Services that we can also, that we are partnered with, that we can call on them. We can refer students to them, especially if they're looking for employment.
Right.
And they can also assist them with testing that they might need for diagnosing a learning disability and getting accommodations for them.
This would seem to be a point where you've got the whole Department of Career Education that you can bring to bear to have those pieces all work together, Dr. Childers.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm just proud sitting here today, because it is so important all of the things that we're doing to help individuals throughout the state. So through Arkansas Rehabilitation Services, now they can serve individuals, we can serve individuals down to age 14. So we have programs that are being developed within the school districts in conjunction with the teachers within those classrooms in the school to help those individuals, but definitely to help those individuals that maybe weren't diagnosed initially that know that they need assistance. So whether it's identified through adult education or through their post-secondary education, they can go to Arkansas Rehabilitation Services, which is also part of the Arkansas Department of Career Education, to get those services and provide support and gain the skills they need, which leads to employment.
Lloyd, a question from Jefferson County. Do you have programs that serve people who have been just released from prison? And they also want to know, I guess, how young, or what age you could start, what age that might affect.
Yes, we have programs, you know, starting with students 16 and older. We work with the Department of Community Corrections. It's a program where our teachers work along with the parole officers and being able to identify those students, and our teachers spend time with them, you know, to help them with their services.
Dr. Miles, marking the 50th year of adult education in Arkansas, what are some of the lessons you have learned, and what are the challenges for the next 50 years?
Ooh.
Those are two big questions, but what would you like to see over the next 50 years? What are the things that you need in the areas of growth and the ways you want to serve better?
Well, definitely one of the ways I would like for us is, in Arkansas, I would like to see the number of people who have GEDs increase, and so that I want them to put us out of business.
Right.
In essence, I would like to see us get more funding to support the adult education programs across the state. As you shared earlier, we have about 400,000 people in Arkansas who do not have a high school diploma, and we're only touching a small segment of that population. And so I would like for us to continue to grow. I would like to see Arkansas become one of the pioneers in adult education across the state, across the country, which we pretty much are in some areas. But as far as helping students to transition into the workplace as well as into post-secondary education.
All right. And we will have to leave it at there. We are out of time. Thanks for coming in tonight. We appreciate it. We appreciate you for listening. We appreciate our phone bank volunteers, the Arkansas Department of Career Education, and Friends of AETN. And we thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
This program is underwritten in part by Arkansas Adult Education, a division of the Arkansas Department of Career Education.
Action year we are covering right now